Good morning, all. My name is Jairaj Jensen Prasanna. I am a PhD student of UFSM. And today I'm going to give a brief discussion about the microstructure and electrical properties of copper zinc oxide thin film. Actually, my first of all, I will start with my outline. So I will give a small object. I will talk about my objective, and then I go for the introduction and motivation. Also, then I'm going to discuss about how this copper zinc oxide thin film I prepared in different ways. Also, I'll talk about some applications, and then I will discuss about some of the results with the XRD, and EDS that I prepared uh, of the prepared copper zinc oxide thin film. Then discuss a little bit about the what are the advantages and disadvantages. Then go for the conclusion, and then I will wind up with the reference. My objective is just to understand the various properties of this copper zinc oxide thin film. Like actually my objective is like to design and develop a cost effective memory cell using this copper zinc oxide nanoparticle to meet the ever increasing technologic needs. Actually this is like a continuation of my first talk, because in my first talk I talk about the memory cells. I'm also giving a very small introduction about the memory cells here also. So why I'm using this copper and zinc oxide? Because this metal oxide, this copper oxide and zinc oxide nanomaterial have very good optical and electromagnetic properties, and these were widely used in different optoelectronic component applications like the solar cells, photodiodes, and the sensors. Also, the zinc oxide is a conventional n-type semiconductor oxide with a wide direct energy gap of 3.37 electron volt at room temperature. And copper oxide is a we know that copper oxide is a p-type transitional metal oxide, which also have energy gap of 1.2 electron volt. Um, and okay. Then I will talk about little bit, because this is like a repetition, because I already talk about these memories, but I am going to give a small introduction. So memory state is basically a non-volatile electronic memory device that consolidates the two words, namely the memory and the resistors. The memory state is also known as the fourth fundamental two-terminal circuit element following the resistor, capacitor, and the inductor in the circuit theory. Theoretically, a memory state is a series of memory resistors and a type of passive circuit element that maintain the relationship between the time integral of the current and the voltage across the two terminals. Till the invention of the memory state, the circuit theory is basically, we know that the circuit theory is basically ruled in three fundamental circuit elements, that is resistors, capacitors, and inductors. Those are the resistors is related with the voltage and current, the capacitor related with the voltage and charge, and the inductor is related with the current and magnetic flux. And then the flux and charge is related with this particular memory state. The theory, the hypothetical first theory was proposed by in 1917 by Professor Leon Schur, and the first practical model was fabricated in the HP Research Labs in 2008 by the Stanley Williams, and later it is named as the ReRAM, that is known as the resistive switching random access memory. Also the physical analogy of a memory cell. This physical analogy of a memory cell is considering as like a water flowing through a special kind of pipe. Here the pipe that expands or shrinks when the water flows through it. So what is the advantage here is, like, if the water flows through a pipe in one direction and the diameter of the pipe increases, thus enabling the water flow faster, and vice versa. When we turn off the water pressure, the pipe will retain its recent diameter until the water turn back on. So like this, when the current is flowing through this, like this can, when if the sorry, if the, sorry, yeah, yeah, if the power is turned on, in that turned off mode also, this can remember how much current actually flows through it previously. That is the advantages of a memory stress, because the memory stress can remember how much amount of the current recently passed through it, in the turned off mode also. So these are some particular applications of this memory stress. Like the memory state can retain its memory states data in the power off mode. That is very important in low, and also it is used for the programmable logic, signal processing, neural networks, and all. The advantages is like memory states have properties which cannot be duplicated by the other circuit elements, and which can be capable of replacing both the DRAM and hard drives and all. Because I'm going through very fast through these slides because I already explained about this in my first seminar. And these are the disadvantages of this memory space. This is actually it's not commercially available, and the current version is only the 1/10 speed of the DRAM, and suspected by some of the performance, and the speed will never match with the DRAM and the transistors. So here basically I'm talking about, like, more or less I'm talking about how I prepare this copper zinc oxide thin film for this memory stress, because I use the conventional method, like conventional methods. Also, I prepared this copper zinc oxide thin film in a different ways. Like the method one I choose is like I deposited the copper zinc oxide thin film using the copper and zinc oxide target, and then I sputtered together in the argon atmosphere. This is a method one. Then I use this thin film, and then I go for annealing under the oxygen and argon atmosphere. The method two that I have done is like I have prepared this copper zinc oxide targets, like copper zinc oxide, like multi layers. Also the vice versa, like the zinc oxide copper multi layers. Then I go for the annealing like that. These are some of the methods that I followed, and the another method is like I deposited this copper on the glass substrate. Then I go for the annealing. Then in around 500 degrees Celsius, and then I sputter zinc oxide on top of this. Then I go for the annealing, and then I created this copper zinc oxide particle. This is actually I prepared the sample using the magnetron sputtering, and then I use the tube furnace for this annealing purpose. And this is the copper zinc oxide XRD that I got from my sample. And this is the same images, some of the same images of this copper zinc oxide prepared sample. And these are some data. These are some EDS data that are confirming that the prepared film is this copper zinc oxide. This is also the EDS data of this copper zinc oxide. And here this is some images. Actually, before I go for this copper zinc oxide, preparing the copper zinc oxide thin film, then I prepare this copper oxide, and then also I prepare the zinc oxide.
2 minutes.
Yes. Then also I prepared this zinc oxide like separately. Then I analyzed this, like this copper oxide and zinc oxide. Then I prepared this copper zinc oxide. These are also some images of this copper zinc oxide. Yeah. The conclusion is that I believe this memory states will change the circuit design in the 21st century as radically as the transistors changed in the 20th. It could be a latest technology, huge speed memory device, and low power requirement. And here we don't need any RLC circuit. Like no combination of RLC circuit, we can duplicate the memory states. It can take a lot of transistors capacity to do the job of a single memory state. So the memory state, I believe the memory state will qualify as a fundamental circuit element in the near future.